Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And today I am making a fave of a disc that I reviewed previously. But, I was having a conversation with Jed Disler this evening, and we were talking about this stuff, and he felt the way I did, because he has a wonderful radio show, by the way, called Between the Keys. And it's, about piano music. And, we often feature things more than once. And the reason is because if you don't, no one's going to notice. It's really that simple. I know there are some of you who have been with me since the very beginning of this process, and I really appreciate it. But we're getting close now to 1,700 reviews of videos. 1,700 videos. And there is no harm in reminding people of great recordings that I think are particularly fabulous, and which, even though you might have seen me talk about before, there are going to be lots and lots of people who have not seen me talk about it at all, because not all of the tens of thousands of new subscribers who came in since I last talked about this recording saw me talk about this recording last time. You know what I mean? So please bear with me and just listen to the damn thing again, because it's fabulous. Here it is. Alicia de Larrocha plays Spanish piano concertos. This is on Decca Eloquence, and it's a recoupling of various things. And my God, it's marvelous, especially because of the uniqueness of the repertoire. There are a couple of composers I would love to talk more about, actually. First, there is the Rhapsodia Española by Isaac Albéniz, orchestrated by Cristobal Halfter. So that's a rarity. And the Turina Rhapsodia Symphonica, which is, one of those little 10-minute pieces that gets stuck in as a filler in Spanish piano music discs like to Nights in the Gardens of Spain or something like that, which is not on here. That's why it's so cool. It's not obvious. But you do get, this is so great, Xavier Montsalvatge. Oh, he's really a good composer. He lived to be like 150. His dates were 1912 to 2002. Wow. Yeah. And this is the Concerto Breve for piano and orchestra. The fascinating thing about the Concerto Breve is that there's nothing breve about it. It's not really terribly short. It's let's see, 15 plus 2, 22, 23, about 24 minutes. It's sensible piano concerto length, but more to the point, it's just a marvelous piece of music that has gotten a couple recordings, but it ought to be in the repertoire. It's really just a splendid piece. And if you don't know Montsalvatge, he lived forever. And, unlike many Spanish composers who write, 3 pieces, then rewrite the same 3 pieces, then they drop dead, Montsalvatge actually lived to write some music. And there's quite a bit of it. And a lot of it is really quite enjoyable and interesting. So the Concerto Breve is one of his major works, I think. I don't know all of them. I've only heard what has been recorded and what was available, and it's not really all that much when you get right down to it, considering, how long he lived and what he did. But it's a great piece, and you can be assured that this will be, a performance not readily bettered. The performers, let me see, well, I told you who the pianist is, obviously, but the orchestras are the London Phil and the Royal Phil, and they're all conducted by Rafael Frühbeck de Burgos, who is marvelous. A marvelous conductor, marvelous in this music. He had a wonderful partnership with de Larrocha, and boy, oh boy, it's just great stuff. So the Montsalvatge is one of the glories of this disc, and the other just as glorious is Carlos Surinach, who lived from, he was also fairly recent, 1915 to 1997. Now, Sauronach is best known for orchestrating the rest of Albéniz's Iberia, the part that Arbos didn't do. Sauronach did the rest, and there are a few recordings of that which I've talked about because I really love the orchestration of the complete work. It's kind of like, it becomes like the Spanish Ma Vlast. And he wrote a piece called Piano Concerto. That's it, Concerto for Piano and Orchestra. It is a fabulous piece, full of fire and passion and Spanish soul and really cool orchestration and percussive thingies. And it's kind of like Bartók Goes to Spain. if you can imagine such a thing. That's really what it most resembles. And again, I mean, Larrocha plays the daylights out of it. It's just fantastic and wonderfully recorded. I mean, this is one of the great piano and orchestra discs, and one of the most interesting, and in terms of repertoire, one of the most important, I think, because you just don't hear these composers all that often on their own. And when an artist of this caliber takes them up, it's a statement. It means something. I wish that it meant more performances and recordings of both of this music and their other works, because these are composers who are well worth getting to know. But in the event, there is this. And it's all this stuff is in the big De La Rocha box, and I don't know if this is still around, but it's probably available. And you should just know these things are out there. Know that they exist. I will find as many ways as I can to talk about this disc, because I think it's that important and that worth your time and that interesting. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.